Murder, She Wrote, Manhattans and Murders by Jessica Fletcher and Donald Bain, narrated by Cynthia Darlow. This is the second novel in the Murder, She Wrote series written, or co-written I should say, by Donald Bain, and following the pattern set by the first book, Gin and Daggers, this has a title based on a drink. Other drink-related titles include Rum and Razors, Brandy and Bullets, and finally Martinis and Mayhem. Thankfully, Bain ran out of inspiration. Perhaps basing your novel around a drink isn't the best idea. At least with this book, Manhattans and Murders, it allowed him to use New York as a setting, although I can't help feeling it was a wasted opportunity. If you're wondering, a Manhattan is a cocktail made with whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. The plot is absolutely ludicrous. Jessica travels to New York City during the Christmas season to promote her latest book. While there, she encounters Waldo Morse, a former drug smuggler from Cabot Cove, working as a sidewalk Santa. After arranging to meet him, she sees him being murdered, and things go downhill from there. Rushing to her aid are Cabot Cove's sheriff, Mort Metzger, and physician, Seth Hazlitt. Why? What about crime back in Cabot Cove? Is that not important? What about Seth's patients? Are they just expected to hold on while he's out of town indefinitely? However, this isn't the worst part. It's the out-and-out racism that comes out of nowhere.
The living room was massive and dominated by a huge natural stone fireplace that spanned an entire wall. An Indian family could have cooked in it, lived in it.
What the hell? An Indian family could have lived in the fireplace? And then there's this gem.
"Home, it looks wonderful," I said as Mort pulled into my driveway. Joseph, a mildly retarded gentleman who made a pretty good living around town as a handyman, had shoveled my driveway and walk.
Mildly what now? I can understand that the use of this word has changed over the years, but there's no need to say an Indian family could have lived in the fireplace. As for the plot, it's not very engaging, and it has many irritating characters. The publicist and the reporter are two that stand out. And none of this is helped by the narrator who, I don't know, is she trying to do an impression of Jessica Fletcher, or just a New England accent in general? Either way, it doesn't work for me. The first time the narrator attempted to do the voice of Seth Hazlitt, I laughed out loud while walking down the street. It was that bad. Her attempts at accents are equally terrible, as you might expect.
I was about to make the second call on my mental list when the phone rang. "Jessica Fletcher?" The operator had a distinctly British accent.
Doing a British accent seemingly involves making your voice an octave higher, although perhaps the narrator failed to do a British accent because there is no such thing as a British accent. Her Scottish accent fares no better.
Moments later, a delightful Scottish brogue said, "Jessica, George Sutherland here."
Oh dear.
"How wonderful to hear your voice, George. What time is it in London?" "Bedtime."
Is he coming on to our Jess?
"How in the world did you find me? I mean, I'm in New York publicizing my latest book. Things distinctly not literary have been happening." He laughed knowingly. "So I've been reading. From what I gather, you're up to your neck in nasty business again. Murder, they say." "Make that plural. I could use a distinguished Scotland Yard inspector at my side to help sort things out. But how did you—" "Find you? Elementary, my dear Jessica. You told me that whenever you visit New York, you stay at this Sheraton Park Avenue hotel. A jewel in Manhattan, you said."
It is hard to emphasize how poorly this narrator does with that Scottish accent. In fact, it's hard to emphasize how poorly the narrator does in general. In the last chapter, she starts talking about said instead of Seth. It's like she just gave up completely. Of course, it's not helped by the fact that she has poor material to narrate. Do not waste your time on this tripe. Overall, I'd give this book a 2 out of 5 and the narrator a 1 out of 5. How about you? Have you listened to this book? What do you think of these Murder, She Wrote adaptations? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as I release a new review every week. Thanks for listening.